Hey guys, Zenollo here. This is essentially a sequel to the Things Need to Change video I made back in the beginning of March, right up to the footage of me walking in Minecraft. This video, however, will focus on how or if Colony of Illusion will move forward. I'm not going to restate everything that I said back in March, go watch that video if you need a full recap, but in short, I stated that long-form episodes like what COI would demand in its current form are not feasible for me due to other more important commitments in my life, namely college, my friends and family, and building towards a career that's not object shows. I said that I needed some time to think about how to move forward with Colony of Illusion in particular. While I didn't say it in the last video, I wanted to wait until the semester was over so I could have a few days to rationally think things through at the start of summer break without the additional stresses of my coursework. Well, the semester ended last week, and after taking a few days to think, I have made my decision. After looking into different options to continue the show, and after months of thought, I have decided that the best course of action is to discontinue Colony of Illusion entirely. This is for a few reasons. Like I said in March, it's just not the kind of project I'm passionate about making anymore, and I didn't feel satisfied with any potential ways to continue it. In some ways, I honestly regret upgrading it to an animated and voice-acted show, as it goes against the simplicity and fun I originally created it for. I have nothing against the crew though. I have loved getting to work with you, and I hope that I can potentially continue to work with many of you in future projects. You are all very talented at what you do, and I thank you for your roles in Colony of Illusion, and for taking the time to help out with my show. Beyond my personal dissatisfaction with COI as a project, I'll also admit that I really have been losing interest in object shows as a genre lately. A lot of them feel very repetitive to me, and I'm not a huge fan of the style of humor most of them go for nowadays. Also, I feel like most of them are competing for which one can have the most cursed Algebraian designs. Is it just me that doesn't really like the Algebraians much? They're creepy, bro. The longer episodes that a lot of the bigger shows I still watch tend to have also feel draining. Like, I get home from a long day of college, want to watch a YouTube video or two to unwind, and I see a 45-minute BFDI episode in my recommended tab, and then I watch the episode, and most of it feels like filler. This is how I feel watching most object show episodes these days. A soul-crushing, repetitive experience that just feels like it's going through the same motions of what BFDI itself first did over 15 years ago, without bringing anything new to the table. For me, that is. I commend everyone who still gets enjoyment out of object shows, and I'm glad they've reached a larger audience than ever. I just happen to be a grown man in my 20s now that is well out of the target demographic for these shows. And the less said about the community, the better. Let's move on now. So, judging by the comments I just made on object shows, I think this is also a good time for me to say that I will be stepping away from the genre as a whole, at least partially. I am committed to finishing up the last episodes of Not Your Average Voting Show Season 2, and will do so over the next few weeks. Season 3 is a distinct possibility as well, although when or if that will happen depends on how I feel after taking a little break. I will probably continue making occasional shorts or one-off videos, as I do enjoy those and I am still very passionate about my own characters. And of course, never say never about Generic Show. Do I think it will actually finish at this point? No, I don't. Do I think it's impossible that it could finish? Also no. It's come back from periods where I've had lower motivation for the show, and at this point I've learned to never underestimate it. I still have moments where I get a burst of motivation for it, and I'll admit that I've gone back to working on episode 20 as recently as 6-ish months ago. There's also Castle Wars, the never-ending white whale I have sought to capture for years. I have continued to develop the story on the side consistently, but it has its own identity now. At this point, I would not consider Castle Wars, or what it has become, an object show anymore. It has gone from a simple medieval-themed competition show to a deep look into what makes someone human. It just also happens to still include objects as the majority, but not all of its main cast. There are non-object characters in Castle Wars now. In some form, I would still like to tell the Castle Wars story, and when I have the resources to, I intend to do so. I also wouldn't count out the occasional mini-series or one-off project or just low-effort show here or there as a test for something. However, as full, high-production series like Colony of Illusion go, I think I'm ready to put that chapter of my creative work behind me. Unless it's a small collaborative effort with a bunch of friends, but even that's unlikely. Pretty much all of my closest friends that I met through the OSC have also left the OSC. With all that out of the way, what's next? Well, as uploads go, I'll be switching my main focus over to what is supposed to be my main channel, but has been considerably less active than this one, just called Zenollo. I have a few ideas for things I want to do on there, and maybe I'll be able to now. I also want to rebrand my Discord server, link in the description if you want to join, into something more general, more of a community space than a place to acquire crew members and get updated on my object show projects. I certainly still will be seeking help on occasion. The projects aren't ending with me leaving the object show community, but overall, I want my server to go beyond simply me and my projects. I think this also marks the beginning of a quieter era in terms of content. I am not, nor have I ever claimed to be, an influencer, and I believe my time is best served by cultivating practical skills. All content moving forward will either be created because I have a set goal for it, or simply because I want to create it. I also want to prioritize my education, my career, and my friends and family, and I think this path will be a good way to balance all of that. Please do not consider this the end. I see it as a new beginning. I am grateful for the experience that creating these object shows has given me for the last many years, and each one has increased my skill level in some way. However, I think I've hit a ceiling in terms of what I can do with them creatively, and as I get older, I feel that it is time for me to forge my own path. I'm excited to see what the future brings, and I hope you come along for the ride. Thank you for watching.